And here we are once again live as we are every Wednesday at noon Eastern Time on the High Noon Hemp Show on the Temptations Beach Facebook page. Welcome everyone to the show and everyone watching now or later. It doesn't matter as long as you're watching. I am Joe Clare. You can go Google me if you're interested. The man himself, high above hemp quarters in Sharonville, is Beach. Beach, how are things in hemp quarters, or at hemp quarters rather?
Things are fantabulously okay, high above the hemp quarters, or
Nice.
in the hemp quarters, high above the Sharonville store. That's right. It's okay is good, though, in my opinion.
That's right. Better than bad.
That's right. Better than bad, it's good. That's right. Better than bad, it's good. For those of you that don't know, that is a Ren and Stimpy reference about wood. Wood. It's better than bad. It's good. Oh, boy. Taking me back. So welcome, everyone, to the High Noon Hemp Show, where we get a little Ren and Stimpy in us on occasion because it is better than bad. It's good.
There you go.
That's right. We're on the Temptations Beach Facebook page. Welcome, everyone. These are uploaded to the Jedi Hemp channel. You can see our new little scroll down there promoting the Jedi Hemp channel on YouTube. So if you are a YouTube subscriber of any channel, then you definitely want to subscribe to the Jedi Hemp channel.
Absolutely.
So you can know whenever we post stuff. Because, I might post other stuff there that's not just the High Noon Hemp Show. You never know. Never know.
Kind of Jedi hempy stuff. It's
That's
also
right.
much easier to share from YouTube, of course. Facebook, well, not great. I mean, I don't mean to beat the proverbial dead horse, but Facebook sucks in a lot of areas.
So, yeah, as far as a social network that isn't very social, I have to somewhat agree. Ironically, as we sit here on the Temptations page, Temptations Beach Facebook page, doing the High Noon Hemp Show.
Yes.
If you're counting, this is 29. Officially, I'm calling it Season 3, Episode 5.
Yes.
And so
we know you're counting.
Here we are.
Why wouldn't you?
And we know that I am counting.
Everyone is counting.
The big news. Yeah. I suppose the big news locally, if you're counting on mistakes that Beach has made in his hemp life. Last week, I should say on Saturday, I got a little ambitious with the unanimous passing of the first round of SB 57 in Ohio. I made it sound like it was done and complete. It is not. It now, I believe, has to go to the House in Ohio. I'm trying to stay up to date as far as when they may have a discussion involvement, or if there is going to be something like that as far as discussing it in the House before they vote on it. Obviously, with it passing 30 to nothing to get there, that was very positive, and I think that's probably what got me excited the most, because I kind of stopped paying attention after that. And so we've got a little bit to go with SB 57, but it is officially on its way. And so there's no turning back. Call your representatives. Tell them that you support it. It doesn't need to have that. I believe that it lists the controlled substance list in Ohio again, just so we know. And this is why I figured out this is why they've done this. They've done it because they come out and they clearly define CBD, cannabidiol. Either way, I've heard it both ways. And then they define industrial hemp, and they go on to say that, everybody can do it. And really the only thing that it changes as far as the in-state policies as to hemp farming, because we will set up a hemp farming program through SB 57 through the Department of Agriculture. And again, all this stuff is clearly worded in there and on that and whatnot. And so we're still clear. And although they talk about hemp and hemp products are still legal, okay, because they're not illegal anywhere. It's the CBD that's the controversial part. And again, if it comes from hemp, or if it comes from hemp, then it's legal. If it comes from marijuana, then you have to get it through the dispensaries. And so that's still what it is. What this does is it clearly defines everything and puts it on paper. And so you don't just have to take my word for it as to that's the law, even though that is the law. It will be there, and you'll be able to say, no, wait, SB 57 says on paper that hemp products, CBD, blah, 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 are all legal and can be sold over the counter. Ends the half truth telling of the Board of Pharmacy. They can still tell their half of the truth, which is, yes, we regulate CBD for marijuana. They regulate anything from marijuana. But it would put the regulation of hemp and hemp products and all that into the Department of Agriculture, I believe, even though, again, as a commercial product, that's just for tracking from farm to what Ohio people will have to do with it. I hope that there's not too many things that Ohio farmers have to go through in the state to actually get licensed to grow, unfortunately. And so we'll see, because there is a little bit of interesting language as far as the processing. Like you might have to be licensed to process industrial hemp products in the state of Ohio. And so if you're a farmer or a processor, that's where it may be manufacturer. That was where there may be this weird wordage in this new bill that is unfortunate, because, again, it may prohibit a lot of people from being involved because it's too much. It's too much. It's an industrial hemp plant. It's an industrial hemp commodity. The federal government's clearly stated, as long as you've got that 0.3% or less, it seems ridiculous that, again, by the wording, that this would include hemp clothes. Like somehow you would have to have your hemp fiber tested for THC and all this stuff. Like you'd have to send it out to an official lab that was, and pay for these licenses to do this, to make hemp clothing. Same for the hemp food part of it. I can kind of get that the CBD industry is kind of new, and of course we want testing and everything, and that's a quality control issue no matter what the company is doing. And so and they're really a lot of this, I think they're wording it for the CBD industry, and it doesn't need to be all of it, but it does, on, like I said, on paper, back up the fact that hemp and hemp products are legal, and they are now in the state of Ohio. I'm really getting tired of people saying that they aren't. Again, we got dropped by Gray Television and in Fox 19 because of hemp and hemp products, because they think that hemp and hemp products are illegal in the state of Ohio, which is absolutely absurd. Absolutely absurd. Okay, you can go to 10 stores that advertise on that channel that sell hemp or hemp products. And so, one of my wholesalers came to me. Again, been carrying their products for a while now, and they come to me with an email saying, we can't ship to Ohio anymore. Blah, blah, blah. We're going to maybe find another distributor that would. And they had the audacity to ask me if they could ship to Indiana or Kentucky and then just bring it back into Ohio to buy it. Wow. I mean, and I let them know that's insulting. That is insulting to the legitimacy of my business. Yeah, make me drive to another state. Yeah, right, exactly. You're going to not ship to my state because you believe that this product is illegal, but you're going to ask me as a business owner to drive to another state that you will ship to where you think it's more legal than in Ohio, and make me feel like a criminal. No, I will move on to the one of 50 other companies that do the exact same thing that you do and that will ship to Ohio.
Yeah.
You know, and again, I will do that until we don't have any CBD products from out of the state. You know, if that's the direction that the CBD industry wants to go, if they want to listen to the policy of the Board of Pharmacy that doesn't have anything to do with industrial hemp products, then that's okay. If they want to listen to some news article that doesn't actually take the time to find out whether hemp and hemp products are legal in the state, then that's fine too. Again, you know, because there's a lot of that going around. There is a lot of media in the state of Ohio that's saying hemp and hemp products are illegal. Absolutely not. CBD is not illegal if extracted from hemp in Ohio. Hemp is not illegal. And I don't even know what the difference between hemp and hemp products is in their definition, but it's funny because that's now the wordage that we're following in the state of Ohio. Hemp and hemp products. I've never advertised my business before saying that we sell hemp and hemp products, but I guess we need to start because that's the wording in Ohio. That's what they like to hear. Anyway, it's kind of a ridiculous state of circumstances. But again, I sit here high above the hemp quarters, knowing that hemp and hemp products are 100% legal. You know, and that started in 2004 when the DEA did try to make hemp and hemp products illegal. They did. And the HIA sued them. And that created the source code that says if it comes from hemp, it's hemp. If it comes from marijuana, then it's marijuana. And it's a totally different thing. DEA can go and do whatever they want for their war on drugs against marijuana, but they cannot include, in 2004 this happened, they could not include industrial hemp products, whatever you want to call them, in that. And obviously at that time, everything was imported. Raw materials were imported, finished goods were imported. This was really over hemp food. And so we've seen this already with hemp food and the government and the law enforcement trying to say that hemp is illegal with hemp food. And it's no different with the CBD. Zero difference. The CBD issue falls under that. And so again, to include hemp and hemp products, to say that hemp and hemp products are some way illegal or even inappropriate, so to speak, to sell in the state of Ohio is listening to these corporations, is listening to I mean, again, if it was, and I'll say this 100 more times as we go through this, if that's true, then I have 1,000 counts against me downstairs in the Sharonville location. You know, and I look forward to holding up a pair of jeans or a paper notebook or some lotion, hemp lotion, in court and saying, if you believe this is marijuana, then I should go to jail.
The hemp jeans you smuggled in your trunk from Kentucky.
That's right. That's right. Don't do it, folks. Be careful coming across that border.
That's right.
With your hemp. You know,
they're looking for you.
You got a hemp sweater on. They're gonna be out for you. You know, the struggle continues. I don't like to say that. Actually, I've never called it a struggle. You know, I often said before 2014 that we were still going uphill. In 2014, we started to come downhill. You know, the Agricultural Act in 2014 opened up hemp farming for farmers in the United States. And so we reached the peak. And, you know, we're still going downhill now. And we're still working it out. We're not at the other side. So we can walk away, and that obstacle, all the obstacles are gone. But you know, even when it was a struggle, I never called it a struggle. This is what I do. This is what we do. I never ever looked at myself as one of those sign holding, protesting, have a movement, um, you know, type things until I really got involved with hemp, and all that changed 23 years ago. Um, Although it is what it is, but it's still going on. We still have things to do. When hemp is as legal as lettuce, as one of the hemp warriors I've come across over the years like to say, he wanted it as legal as lettuce, and I would like to see it as legal as lettuce or cabbage or any other whatever. Then I don't know what I'm going to dedicate my time to. Probably a recycling movement, because we seem to be going backwards now with recycling. Anyway, that's a whole nother issue. So anyway, lo and behold, I jumped the gun on SB 57, but once again, it is still. You can go to the official Ohio government site and keep up with it there. Again, it has to go to the House. So call your House of Representatives office and let them know once again that you support the hemp farming part of SB 57. And again, if they don't change any of the wording, the worst that it is there's a little bit of goofiness in there, but honestly, it's not, I think we can get through it. We can weather that, and maybe challenge a couple things possibly if we needed to. And so there you have it. Keep up with SB 57 in Ohio. The rest of the country, if you're in one of those other 41 states, good job already, because you're doing something with hemp farming. So good work. I was hoping too that I could say
to Amanda and Matthew. Thank you for commenting, by the way, and everyone watching on the old Facebook.
Yeah, I'm not seeing the comments like I used to for some reason or another. But yes, thanks guys for listening. Keep up the good work. Wherever you are in the world when it comes to hemp and all things hemp and whatnot. I would like to announce again that yes, we were number one in the old Cincinnati City Beat competition for Smoke Store, number one, numero uno. Yeah, no sound effects. No sound effects. We're still looking for a sound effects guy. I don't know how. I don't know how we work him in. He like stand in front of me with something and push the buttons, maybe, or and all that. Yeah. I did tell one of the employees that if we ever have a house band, I might have to bring him in. So anyway, but yes, number one. Rumor was that there was a time where they were bringing in like 1 million people to the website to vote. Of course, I think that makes me feel good. There's a lot of categories. There's a lot of people pushing their, business or whatever, local pub or whatever it is. And so, but I mean, there's only 1 million people in the greater Cincinnati area. And so that means that almost everybody voted, which can't be possible. It's just multiple voting, blah, 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 and whatnot, obviously, if that's the case. But that's still a lot of people, and it makes me feel good. Makes me feel good. Best of Cincinnati, and so thank you, customers and fans and friends and all those out there in the old internet world that voted for us and have supported us over the years and gotten us there. So thank you.
Winners. We also got Amanda still in the chat area. Lisa as well says New York needs this, meaning hemp, I would imagine. Carrie,
yes,
love listening to you. Thank you, everyone. A lot of interaction today on the old Facebook.
Awesome.
I guess Facebook just decided that hey, we'll let some people know that you're live, and so they can come watch your show. So thank you to Facebook.
Thanks, Facebook. Thanks, viewers. I know some of you are loyal live watchers, which yes. I really have to commend and appreciate taking your time out. I think that I'm still trying to stay relevant, in the hemp world, all things hemp. That being said, we'll move on to the product spotlight part of the show. Which is always fun because this shows you, obviously the range of products that are out there, not just because we carry them, 4 from the store, 1 from my door, but because, again, I try to show how versatile this plant is. And these are all these 4 from the store. First one's Greenfield Paper Company, and these are their business cards. And so I have been printing on the Greenfield, my business cards. Any card we come up with, I print on there. These are little packs that we have in the store. So if you wanted to print up a handful of hemp business cards for yourself, this goes in the regular old 8.5 by 11 printer. Doesn't work as well with a printer that rolls the paper as well as a sheet, just like brings it in flat. Yeah. So that is to be considered, but they're nice. It's a nice thick paper. It lasts forever, honestly. And then again, I personally print on these, but this is available to the customers out there in the store. We've been carrying Greenfield Paper Company stuff for a long time. This Satori, speaking of a company we've been selling for a long time, this is the Satori. They do hoodies and whatnot, and so this is the zip-up hoodie version of a Satori. We have this in a couple different colors. Again, most of this stuff is at the O'Brienville store. There is a select items at some of the other locations, and if you're at another location and you're like, hey, I saw the Satori hoodie in brown, do you have that in a medium? You might have to, have them call another store. We may have to check another store. And so, but Sharonville has probably the largest selection just because we have the biggest room and whatnot. But there's a little bit of this stuff out there. And again, we carry quite a bit of Satori products. And this is the zip-up hoodie, good for spring weather.
Spring is here.
Those cool spring nights. I want to believe that spring it is officially here, but I also want to believe that it's actually here when it comes to the weather. But it got a little cold this weekend, so this is Ohio and Cincinnati. We'll see what happens. Mm-hmm. The next product that we've been carrying, these guys are pretty new to us, but for a while, and their products do really well, is the Blue Ridge, and this is their hand and body lotion, which it's the CBD product. They're out of, I believe, the Asheville down in North Carolina area. Again, this is something that I think I have a bottle of this in my bathroom that I use on occasion as well. But a really nice product. That's the hand and body lotion with the CBD in it. And then for our number one smoke store customers who love us, the last hemp product in the store is the High Hemp, specifically the Grape Ape wrap. The reason I want to focus on the Grape Ape, because grape is my favorite flavor of things like this and candy and whatnot when I do that. And I don't do that a lot as far as candy and whatnot. But, the High Hemp's kind of started the hemp wrap. And there are a lot of hemp wraps out there now. And so, these guys kind of started that. We've got a bunch of different flavors and Grape Ape is, my favorite when I use those, if I do on occasion. And the last product is, again, this is something I have on my desk. I'm actually out in the Hemp Drink refrigerator. We don't carry these in the store. If you are watching and you know a distributor that will ship some of this to me wholesale in Cincinnati, I would love to sell this stuff in the store because these guys have been around for a while as well. And I found this on Amazon, but this is the Sea Swiss iced tea. And one reason why I love them is this is paper packaging, so it's 100% recyclable, if not biodegradable. And so I think the paper can, I don't know if you can still call it a can if it's made out of paper. I guess it's still a can. The paper packaging, whatever. I think that's an eco-friendly solution. Better than plastic, that's for sure. and at least some of the metals are recyclable, so that's not so bad. But these are some mighty fine little iced teas, and they also make a lozenge that we used to sell probably 20 years ago, and then I kind of lost that connection, and so I will forever be trying to get these into the hemp refrigerator in the store, but they are part of my selection when I would want a hemp drink throughout the day. And so there you have it. 4 from the store, 1 from my door. That is the product spotlight. And
Indeed.
now on to Joe.
No sound effects. Again, I must apologize to everyone out there. Hemptations.com, by the way, for locations. I would like to point out that Amanda in the chat area says she sets her alarm for the office every Wednesday to watch the show. So thank you. I would recommend that everyone do that. A very loud, blaring alarm for noon.
Now,
Wednesday.
None of you have an excuse. Amanda has set the precedent.
That's right.
Set that alarm. I'm sure she's not the only person that does that. And again, I it's, for what it's worth, I have to be humbled. We do this for fun. Nobody's paying us. I love to educate, and I'm glad. This is me as a teacher, I suppose. I always said if I wasn't in the hemp, and of course I do teach on hemp, I suppose. If I wasn't in the hemp world, I would be a teacher at some local middle school or high school or something, coaching basketball too. Anyway,
there's no fame.
Here we go.
The fame is on Facebook.
That's right. Fame, that's right.
And when I speak of fame, of course, the most famous, when all is said and done, and hundreds of years from now, when they look back on this, and they look back on the life of Beach, and they're writing the biographies or whatever, they will mention first and foremost this video segment above everything else that's ever happened on Facebook or in the internet in general. The Beachwear segment, where we find out, what are you wearing, Beach?
If you did wake up this morning thinking, what are you wearing, Beach? Or perhaps it is in the future, and you're saying to yourself, what was he wearing on that day? Now you're going to find out. There's a little bit of a theme. Some would call this maybe a Rasta theme. If you know, the color combination is actually the Ethiopian flag color combination. That was the goal of the Rastafarians, was to actually go back to Africa. And so it was supposed to be a pilgrimage. That was part of it. And so again, we got a little bit of a red, yellow, and green sub theme on the what are you wearing today, Beach, which includes a No Bad Ideas hat with a hemp hoodlam jacket, still a little cool, so the hemp hoodlam's still keeping me warm. My Capitol Hemp t-shirt, I take a lot of pride in this. I probably picked this up about 10 years ago in Washington, D.C., and they had a really nice little hemp, and they still do. The Capitol Hemp still exists on the outskirts of D.C. Nice little hemp shop with nice hemp products. Got my We Love Bad boxer briefs and my Patagonia pants on. I like these because it's a dual pocket, one with a button you can see, and one is just open. My Satori Rasta striped socks, I guess you can call it. And then the Adidas Superstars, again, another pair of Adidas Superstars, this obviously with the red, yellow, and green theme. And so if you're out there and you support Rastafarianism, the ideas and that this is kind of their colors, I suppose. There's a whole outfit you could find somehow, although it's taken me years to actually acquire all that stuff.
That's something. This is got to be a frustrating segment for people who want to look like you, and then they got to get all this together and like, well, I can never measure up to the Beach ensemble. So it's really,
and it's kind of it's kind of a black. For those many people that I know out there that wear black on a semi-regular basis, because that is a fashion way, I should say, wearing black. That just proves that there's plenty of black stuff out there as well if you look hard enough. And so there you have it. If you woke up this morning and you were saying to yourself, What are you wearing, Beach? Now you know.
Bam. Right
Bam.
a lot of people chilling in the chat area on Facebook. Lisa said, "I'd love to try that on one of the products." Amanda said, "Gotta support my customers in all aspects. Beach buys our products. So happy to have such an amazing, educated hemp leader to work with." Really, just a ton of people with us today.
Thanks, everybody.
The education and the sharing and the liking and all of that. Thank you for checking us out. Make sure you subscribe on YouTube, Jedi Hemp on YouTube, to get the
That's
show
right.
there as well.
And
Awesome
then
stuff.
Hemptations, hemptations.com for all the events.
Yes.
Again, the first page of events is things that I am doing myself or are store related. And then if you go to the second page on hemptations.com, it's all the events that I talk about on the High Noon Hemp Show. And so we don't have a whole lot of news this week. Honestly, it was kind of a slow hemp week as far as news. But NOCO was a huge success, as I predicted. And so we kind of knew that was going to happen next week or coming up this weekend. April 6th, 2 to 8, John Patterson's Hemp Building Experience in Phoenix, Arizona. You can go to hempfulfarms.com for more information on that. April 7th is the Hemp Connections. This is from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. This is La Plata, I believe it is, County Fairgrounds in Durango, Colorado. You can go to kindhempco.com for more information on that. We are just a week and a half away to the National Hemp Expo in Louisville, Kentucky. So if you're in the Kentucky area, Louisville, you want to travel down for that. That's April 13th and 14th. There's more information on that, I believe, at the Kentucky Hempganics Facebook page and online. If you're in Ireland, Kenmare Kerry, April 15th through the 17th, you've got a hempbuilding.com experience that you can get in with. Again, the hempcrete stuff is huge here in the United States. It's huge all over the world. It's always been big in Europe. If you go to France and you probably want to do a hempcrete, they'd just be like, well, just go down to the house down there. They're using hempcrete to remodel the house. But you know, it's spreading its way across Europe and everywhere else across the world too, and it really draw an interest here in the United States for those events. April 18th and 19th, you have the Southeast Farmers Hemp Conference in Atlanta, Georgia. Ironically, Atlanta, Georgia is I believe the home base of Great Television, the company that dropped us recently with our advertising because of our hemp and the hemp products, but yet Atlanta is going to be the home of the Southeast Farmers Hemp Conference. So
maybe some of their executives will go check it out. You never know.
Yeah, some of the hemp farmers need to go over to the Great Television headquarters and be like, what is wrong with hemp? What are you telling me? Anyway, April 20th, obviously, there's going to be a busy cannabis day in the world. I'm trying to limit how many, by the time we get to that week, how many events I talk about that are happening that day. But this is the National Cannabis Festival, which is going to take place at RFK Stadium in Washington, D.C. And there are some other big cannabis festivals, all things cannabis. Going to be on 420 because it's a Saturday this year, and so it's going to be.
Some things happen on that day. There's some.
It's
events.
going to be bonkers, I think, across the country when it comes to all things cannabis on 420. We got April 25th and 27th. We've got another hempcrete building experience, and this is the Tiny Hemp Houses. So hemphouses.com. And they always, you definitely want to stay with their website and keep up with them because they're always doing something and they're willing to work with people no matter where you are. And so that will definitely be educating. Follow those guys. April 26th and 28th, you have the Hemp Symposium in Hillsboro, West Virginia. And that's patchadams.org is his or their website, I'm sorry. No. Patch Adams is a fictional character, if you don't know, played by Robin Williams.
Yeah.
That is what. Yes, he was a doctor that entertained the kids, made being sick a little bit better. And so anyway, April 27th, I just got signed on. I am going to be doing the Cincinnati. I'm going to do my hemp presentation at the Cincinnati Earth Day at Summit Park. This will happen at high noon. And so if you're in the Cincinnati area, you want to come celebrate Earth Day. This is the largest Earth Day event. I used to work with the Earth Day Coalition here in Cincinnati, who is now partnered with Summit Park. We used to be downtown. The event used to be downtown. It's now at Summit Park. It's a great location. And so that's April 27th, Earth Day. And obviously April or the 22nd is Earth Day. We're going to celebrate that on the 27th. At Summit Park in Cincinnati, and I will be giving my hemp presentation at high noon. It will be a high noon live special from Earth Day, Summit Park. I will try to set up camera to record it, but that always never works out well because I'm more focused on trying to get my presentation ready. Anyway, then I turn right back around and I head up to Cleveland for the Cleveland Hemp Expo the next day. I do want to say April 27th, there is another event that will be a good event for anyone that is in the area. And I don't have the place, but I'll find out. But this is Katie Moyer's going to be doing an event April 27th called Hemp and CBD for the Natural Alternative to Pharmaceuticals. And the only reason, and there's a lot of CBD educational stuff out there. I don't talk about it a whole lot on the events. I try to keep it more to the hemp part of things, in all honesty, even though everything is being driven by the CBD. But I can tell you, Katie is one of the main reasons that hemp farming is going on in Kentucky. And that's saying a lot, folks, let me tell you. She has worked with the original and grew and has been growing industrial hemp in Kentucky since day one. She was one of the 3 farms that we got the pleasure to go and visit and walk through and do a little hemp work. We built a shock at her farm. If you don't know what a hemp shock is, it's basically kind of building a teepee out of hemp, and that's how they would leave the hemp in the fields over the winter to wet. And what that does is break down that stalk part, which was so strong naturally, protecting that fiber. And then you wet over the winter traditionally to make the stalk weaken so you can break it. Literally, that was the device that they called, was a hemp break. And it was this big thing where you just took these big pieces of wood up and down on top of the hemp that were displaced from each other, and it broke that outer part, and then you made the fiber accessible. And so I got to do the shock part at Katie's fields. I worked a break at Mike Lewis's fields. And so anyway, that was the first year that hemp was grown in Kentucky, the first federally recognized industrial hemp in this country, because Kentucky was federally on board with everything that they did as far as the laws that they used when they were growing their industrial hemp following the Agricultural Act of 2014. So anyway, if you can get an opportunity to hear Katie speak on hemp anything, trust me, I would take that opportunity. I would. I'll get that location. I believe, again, it's somewhere in Pennsylvania, if I remember correctly. I don't know why I didn't put that on here, but I didn't. And again, the 28th, Cleveland, if you're going to be in the Cleveland area, the Cleveland Hemp Expo. I think they've actually changed the name to the Cleveland Hemp Wellness and something else. I need to officially change that myself, but that's happened at the Odeon on the 28th, which is a Sunday, and I'm going to be speaking there between 4 and 5, taking questions, doing my presentation and whatnot. And so that's April, and there's a lot of stuff going on in April. I will continue to keep you guys updated and updating the website as far as events and hemp stuff going on across the country. No matter where you are, there's something going on in your state. There's something going on. I guarantee you, unless you're in South Dakota. Chances are you may be one of the other not legal farming states, but there's still something going on with industrial hemp. I can tell you that now. It's a very popular subject because, as we've always said, hemp equals jobs at the very least. That's how Kentucky did it. They just kept saying how many jobs could be made, until they finally did it. And we look at their program 5 years later, and there's been thousands of jobs created in the state of Kentucky at this point. I would say more and more every day in the state of Kentucky and all over attributed to hemp. And so, we're still trying to do that in Ohio. I don't have any questions. I haven't seen any questions. If your question is when is Ohio going to do it? It's, we're still trying, but we're getting closer with SB 57. And as goofy as some of the wording may be of it, it makes it so the Department of Agriculture has to set up a hemp farming program. It puts on paper by law, even though it's not illegal, that hemp and hemp products and CBD and all that stuff is 100% still legal. 100% still legal. Listen to me, folks. Still legal because it's legal now. It's just going to be on paper. And so, call your, once again, House of Representatives member. Let them know you support SB 57. Passed unanimously in its first round, and so let's get it passed in the next round, and get it passed, and then get it signed. And we won't get any seeds in the ground this year, unfortunately. I find that very hard to believe. I tell you this though, I will say this: if they get it signed and ready, and are willing to get a license program set up, I will get seeds and grow industrial hemp in Ohio. Just to show that it can be done, and that Ohio's not going to be swallowed up into some vast hole for making this 100% great, awesome, renewable commodity legal to grow for our farmers. It's just an option. It's not going to have to be mandatory. But I'll be the first in line to file an application to farm. And there are many others out there that are ready to stand beside me and fill out that application, get that license approved, and grow industrial hemp in the state of Ohio. So I keep everybody abreasted, and when I know, you'll know as far as anything that's going on with SB 57. And we'll keep doing what we do, which is reduce, reuse, recycle, make everything else out of hemp. Having temptations.
Indeed. See you all next week.